your host, Charise Beckett, and
I am your host, Mark Thompson.
how are you?
If you focus on what you did in the past,
To lead, transform, and shine.
this is a great collaboration. Career Transformation Academy and Queens behind the scenes. Mark Thompson, Charise Beckett, about to tear it up.
Welcome back to Corporately Speaking. I'm Charise Beckett.
And I'm Mark Thompson.
And today we are launching our new series. The whole series is called Money, Class, and Access, Where the Real Tension Lives. And this series is about something I don't think we talk about often. It's a little bit misunderstood. What success actually means structurally, not monetarily, but structurally.
Yeah, this is going to be a great series. I'm excited about it. Before we get started and go on to this, make sure you like, subscribe, and send this to people who need this information. I'm pretty sure if you've seen any of our episodes, you've needed and seen this information in your life. So share it with somebody, hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. So yeah, and not just what people see on the surface is what we're going through today, is because income, title, lifestyle, that's the visible layer. But underneath that, there's access, there's ownership, there's stability, there's leverage.
Yes,
This is
yes,
going to be a great
yes.
episode.
It is, exactly. And today's conversation is the foundation for all of that. It is actually titled High Income, Low Power, and Why Many Black Professionals Are Still Economically Fragile. Wow, yeah.
Yeah, when you say that, it's like, yeah, we're still dealing with systemic. It's systemic, it's generational, it's cultural, it's,
It's so
oh
many
man, we
things.
got spiritual, it's everything. So, I mean, let's get to let's ground this with something real. Let's think about this. According to Federal Reserve data, the median Black household, which I talk to my friends about this all the time, is very sad. Wealth is roughly 1/8 of a white household wealth. That is bad. So even if income rises, which we see people getting more money, just a few, wealth doesn't always follow the same pace.
And that gap, that's what we're unpacking today is the gap.
Yep. So let's jump into income versus wealth versus power. Let's look at the clear distinctions between that. So we have to separate three things that people lump together. These three things are income, wealth, and power.
Okay, so let's break it down. Income is what you earn. Wealth is what you accumulate and you keep. Power is what gives you options, protections, and leverage over time. Three
Yeah.
different things.
Yeah. Three different, and it's important to understand it that way, because here's the issue. You can increase income relatively quick. We know that. I came up, got a little money, spent my tax money,
Spent my tax money.
but through promotions, job changes, stuff like that. But wealth is slower. It's probably strategic. And then power takes even longer. So yeah, I think we see a lot of things on Instagram and people think that's what power looks like. Sometimes that is a facade. So I hope we talk
First of
about
all,
that.
it is a lot of this time a facade. I mean, oh God. Before I even get into this other data that supports what we're talking about, I want people to understand that. Now, I saw some guy say, women that have gone to school for this many years, they're just mad because women with OnlyFans are making $1 million doing. I'm not mad. Listen, don't hate the player, hate the game. But
Right.
I'm talking
What's some
about
feet?
But I'm talking about this is different. It's longevity. We are so conditioned to like things in the moment. Everything's so fast. Everything's momentary. So wealth is different than that. And so the data supports this. So even among high earners, Black professionals are less likely to hold significant assets outside of their income compared to their white peers and other demographics.
Yeah. I mean, where do we even start to where this began? I mean, again, systemically, we've been put in these places. And then when you get an opportunity to learn, you got to figure it out for yourself. So things like stock ownership, business equity, real estate portfolios, there are certain people who get access to that and they learn how to do that. But those are the drivers of wealth, and they're not equally distributed. I would also add too, there's like a top 5 list. Corporate America is a space too as well, especially if you get up into VPs and maybe even director level and above at certain companies, because you get stocks, you get sign-on bonuses, you get stuff you can start adding to make these portfolios
Yeah.
come true.
But, I did read somewhere that one of the top ways to get rich was corporate job. I gotta find that.
Hmm.
But
I did
so
too.
I saw that somewhere, but Imma find it before we get off of here. But so you can be making 200K, 300K, 500K and still be structurally behind someone making less, but they
Yes.
own more.
Yes.
And again,
Exactly.
I mean, we all know that is systemically the design, right? Like, that's
Hmm.
systemically the design, and you gotta catch up, and there's all of those things, but I think that that's where a lot of times the fast Instagram ready view of it when wealth takes a little bit longer to build. Let's
Yeah.
talk about the wealth gap.
Good. Let's talk about the wealth gap. And then there's some more data that we're going to talk about as well in here. So let's put some more context. This, according to the Federal Reserve survey of consumer finances, median white family wealth is over 280,000. I just talked about this yesterday to a friend of mine, and the median black family wealth is closer to $45,000. That is terrible.
But that's just not an income gap, that is a wealth gap.
Yeah, wealth gap. But even if you think about, I'm sorry, going back to that, just think about the way people are thinking about dating people as well. I like to
Mhm.
talk about this as well. And expectations of somebody even having this money. Like on average, no, black people don't make this money as income. The average man or woman is not even over or even in the ballpark of 40 to 45,000. So that's wealth and also income that mirrors almost the same thing.
Mhm.
That's not, the average black family, when somebody died, the average person is only passing down about $4,000. That's not a lot.
Where
So
are you kidding?
yeah, I am dead serious. I'll be researching stuff like this. I'm like, $4,000 are passed down to your kids. That means this goes into the things that we're not, producing, providing, learning, or pushing or passing down assets. So when you think about wealth, this includes savings, investments, property, business ownership, things that grow even when you're not working. This is what we're missing in a lot of the black community, uh, which is sad.
Well, yeah, and here's the part people miss. Wealth also acts as a shock absorber. When something goes
Mhm.
wrong, like job loss, market shifts, health issues, wealth gives you time and optionality. I talk about that all the time.
Yes.
That's why people say you got to have more than one stream of revenue. You can't just have your job as
Yes.
that. And I know for a lot of people, that's like, I just want to go to work and I want to go home. But you can still be going to work and go home and build that is what is it called when you don't now feel like I sound like a dummy. What is it when you can build streams of income that you're not having to work all the time, like
Yeah.
that are passive.
Passive income, or nowadays you created automated passive income. So yeah, those are the keys where you're sleeping, you're still making money. Yeah, got to figure those things out. You got to jump in that. So, without it, you're exposed. And then even
Even
at
at
high
high
income
yeah.
levels.
Even at
Yeah.
high income levels, and that's what I say, so the hidden pressures. Now let's talk about the pressure that doesn't show up in spreadsheets because this is where things get real. You have a higher likelihood of supporting a family, lower likelihood of inheriting wealth. This is a nuanced data point for black people. Higher student loan burdens.
Hmm. Yep, yep, right. Black college students, on average, they carry more student loan debt and pay it off more slowly. So even at higher income levels, you're starting off at a different pace, a different place. Sorry, pace and place. I would say
Pace
that all
and
together.
place. Shoot, pace
Pace and place.
pace and place. And then there's what I call the invisible obligations. We help
Hmm.
family, we support parents. I mean, a lot of people do that, but like in the black community, I do think that that is something that is prevalent. You contribute to extended networks like fraternities, sororities.
Ah,
Yeah, I mean, so there's those things that compound.
right, right. So your income, it's not yours. It's distributed. And you think about it, when somebody comes up, and I hate this for our black community, when somebody makes it or does something good, it's like, yo, let me borrow a dollar. Let me get something. You're making all that money. And then you feel guilty for not helping somebody out or your family. And everybody looks at you like, I told my parents and I said, you all did what you did to help me survive. Now I have to do the same thing for my child. I don't have enough money to share everywhere. I will help you when you're in need or
Yeah,
in
I agree.
trouble, but
But I
I am not
can't
a donation.
but that's the thing is that is the another thing is like I really do think that that is something that One of the things I would love, like, I would love to be able to, like, buy a big, huge house for my maybe not even a huge house, like, something for
Right.
my mom, right? But, like and I probably could, but there's these other obligations that you have that stop you from doing all your student
Right.
loan debt, you're this and that, you're da 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 da.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you this because it is you want to be able you see people that are doing that are it is very hard. And I do think that again, we do not start at equal playing grounds. And I think that that's again this DEI conversation. I don't even I think DEI really addressed that at all. I don't
No, it
think.
didn't. It did. I
I
mean, it
don't
was
think
like
so at all.
it addressed the income. I mean,
It
because we put
addressed
you in
the
a space
income.
for income, but
It
not
is,
wealth.
but not wealth. And that's what I'm saying. So it puts you in a space where you could make more money, rightfully so, but not a position of wealth. And a lot of times, if I can, before we even move on, a lot of times, I'm just now hearing more Black people start talking about investments and talking about. I,
Right.
I did not hear that when I was younger or in college or
Not at
growing up
all.
or learning. I didn't know nothing
It
about
was it
invest
wasn't that it
in
was
what.
taboo. Yeah. I was just saying it wasn't that it was taboo, just like we didn't know people who did it.
We did not know it. We didn't know people who did it. So when you don't know people who are doing those things, and then a lot of times, because listen, we gonna be looking good. So a lot of times,
Mhm.
you know, I do think that the priorities, because it's all starts from a systemic issue. It is all systemic. It is systemic exclusion
Yeah.
from the conversations, from the table, from the learning, from the teachings. It's systemic exclusion from all of those things, which I
Mm.
do believe is by design. I do believe is by
Yeah.
design because I just do. I mean, it's history tells us it is, right? But like it is systemic exclusion. It is starting from, a 400-year, you know, head start that we didn't
Right.
have,
Right.
building communities but not benefiting from them. It starts from all of those things. And I can't stress that more. But I think now we know better, so we do better,
Yeah.
but you're still behind. And I think that's the part that like you're still behind. So how that's my thing is, and maybe you have more answers than I do, but like how
Mm.
do people position themselves to get ahead and on equal footing ground to be able to build generational wealth?
You know what? One of the things that I saw the other day, I keep saying I saw because a lot of times Instagram and YouTube, there's some good stuff in there. Some people are dropping some
Yeah,
knowledge, but
some people
it's
are
in
we
between.
do.
Yeah, it's in between some of the trash though as well. So you
Yeah,
got to
that's
weed
yeah,
through
you
it.
gotta
One of
weave on through.
the things I saw, it was saying that African Americans is probably one of the only cultural rate that do not do things as a group, as a team, as a family. Where Indian cultures, Asian cultures, even African cultures, they get rich together. They put their money and buy properties together. So we come together and do this, then we actually, and that has been a part of systemic thing is how do we divide us? If we can divide us, then we're trying to do things on our own. But if we ever came together and started doing things, we all get rich.
Well,
We
why do
all
you
will
think
make.
that so my question is, why do you think that is that we don't do that? Like, why I don't why do you think that is? Because
I
there's a
mean,
reason.
I mean, for me, it can go all the way back to just again, systemic training and segregation and how to keep us from coming together because we got some skill sets and brain power and some wisdom and things that they don't want to see us overcome. And then that just comes back from way back when of setting up this standard of, I would say, system operation to destroy the black man from rising to being great. I mean, you know, think about Black Wall Street, these communities and cities that were built by black folks where the entire communities were led by these leaders who had banks, who had, the grocery stores and destroyed. So when every time we came together, somebody tried to take us apart. And it was like, well, if I want to stay alive, if I want to be safe, if I want to do anything that actually gives my kids an opportunity, I got to stay to myself. And we just generationally passed that up.
Yeah, I mean, but I think there's okay, I have a couple of things, okay? A lot of Black families are more likely to be first generation high earners,
Hmm.
supporting extended family, paying off debt instead of investing early. So there's that stuff. Then their cultural priorities are very different. Not worse, different. Some cultures really do emphasize like pooling money into businesses, family owned enterprises, strict saving and investment norms. Black families often emphasize taking care of family first, stability over risk for good reason historically, right? Like, I mean, come on,
Right.
career advancement versus entrepreneurship again because access to capital was just always limited. That's just adaptation, like, right? The system still isn't very neutral today. Even now there are disparities in lending approval rates, home appraisals, business funding. So for
Yeah.
example, Black entrepreneurs receive much smaller percentage of venture capital funding than white founders. So it's not just
Right.
history, it's an ongoing system of friction in the system,
Yeah.
right? So it's so much more, I believe, than that. Like, I don't know. I just there's so many thoughts, but also that is not our cultural norm. But what I am
Right.
what you are seeing is a shift. I will say that. I just saw this Black community. These people were like, "Nah, we want to build a whole community." They built an entire infrastructure. It was all like, did you read about it? It was a whole Black.
Uh-uh.
I was so impressed with these folks. They pulled together their money. They have their own community. They are putting together their own ways of food sources and farming. And I'm
Wow.
like, y'all are the bomb because
Right.
that is what we need to be doing. I love growing things. I love a garden. I have a garden. Love a garden. And we don't do enough of that. In the Black community, we don't do enough of that. We don't. And so I don't think it's because of like, because a lot of times people are like, we don't do that. But I think it's systemically we don't do that because of all of those other things I just mentioned.
Right. I agree. I agree. How do we just got to start doing it because I think going back to what you said, we're still experiencing first time graduates,
Yes, I saw that on
first
TV.
generation.
Somebody
Yeah.
said that. Yeah.
That's not good.
I mean, it's good because we want them to be.
Yeah, it's good, but like you still are the first in your family in 2026? Like we're not, yeah.
But I think that how we do that is we have to decide, are we building income or legacy? Like an income mindset or a legacy mindset. Income is salary, bonuses, lifestyle upgrades. Legacy mindset is asset ownership systems that pay without you. So you don't need more money, you need more assets that work while you sleep. We just talked about that, right? Lock in those non-negotiable wealth moves, max out retirement accounts, automatic. But see, a lot of times people can't do that because they need their check.
Exactly. They need a check. Well, what's that? Robbing Peter to pay Paul. That's
Shoot,
the
robbing
that's the thing.
somebody said, now we over here robbing. It was funny the other day. She said we robbing Peter to pay Paul to hit Jack upside the head and trip Jew. And, you know, I mean, it's true. But also, the biggest silent wealth killer in Black households is overextending for others. A lot of Black professionals become the safety net, the problem solver, the one who made it. So, not saying like don't help family, but set monthly, annual family support caps or not no
Yes.
emotional last minute resources out of that cap. Support with strategy, not just like money. I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts around this, like money and everything. My brother and I talk about it a lot. My brother's a serial entrepreneur. He does really well. His wife is an entrepreneur and he's starting a new business. And I'm like so excited for him and his new business. And I wish that I was in a position to really like invest heavily into this business with him because I know it's going
Right.
to be super successful. And I also have a lot of business savvy I think that could help him. So I'm working on it, but I think he's a builder. He loves building, and I think that that's really great. I just wish that like my family was in a position more to be able to be like, "Oh my god, we're going to throw some into this so we can get this business. I want part of your business, but we're going to be making money." Like it just could be so much different.
Mhm.
And I think it is just systemically set up for us differently and there are ways. I mean, the other thing I had to do is because I love listen, and my Queens Behind the Scenes show is about this next week is about like
Okay.
chasing youth and like like all the things that we have to do, women and men, because the goalposts keep moving, bodies keep shape
Right.
shifting. Women people shape shifted and everything else. And like we will spend money on all these things to look good. And listen, one thing Black people gonna do, and I'm one of them, we gonna look good. Okay, we are not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere looking dusty, ashy. You're not going anywhere without your hair done. Women, we're gonna have our hair done. We're gonna have our nails done. Whatever or
But
whatever we
why?
prioritize.
Why? That's a
Okay,
good question.
why
Because
what?
because because the billionaires is wearing Skechers and driving
What
Priuses.
billionaires do you see wearing that though? Wait a minute. What
Bill
billionaires do you see
Gates.
wearing? I don't want to look like him.
I mean, you ain't gotta look like we ain't looking like them, but they don't. I mean, it's just when you
I
think
mean, you got
about
the
well,
Kardashians. They're billionaires. They don't be looking like that.
yeah, but that's also in the realm
Part of
of
their brand.
exactly.
It's a part of their brand.
One of the things I've heard, and I've taken this to heart, is that wealth is quiet, rich is loud. So I want to be wealthy, but I don't care who. I don't want everybody knowing.
No, I mean, no. But are you going to walk around wearing dirty? So that's another thing. Black people take pride in their shoes, especially Black men. You're not wearing no dirty
Yep,
shoes.
you're right. You're right. But they are. I'm getting that age now. Skechers is looking kind of good now in the corner.
No,
I'm
the
like,
hell
ooh,
they ain't.
them
If I
things
see
look.
you
They
wearing a
look a
pair of
little comfortable.
Skechers.
Hey, if I'm wearing Skechers, just know I got $1 million in the bank. Just
Okay,
know
so if
that.
you wear Skechers, I'm gonna know you made it. Okay, I'm gonna know you made it. I'm gonna know you made it. I'm gonna know you made it. Oh my god. All right, well, let's get back to access without ownership because that is we were just talking about that.
Okay, so let's get back, like you said, because this is critical. Access gives you a role, it gives you a salary, it gives you a seat at the table. And in ownership, it gives you equity, it gives you control, and it gives you long term upside. It's a beautiful place to be in.
Yes, and most corporate structures are designed around access, not ownership. We know that.
Exactly. And I like, so you think about the senior levels, unless you're in equity heavy roles, which is where I want to be like you one day. I want to be there. You're still exchanging time for income.
And
Those are
y-
some of the things. Yeah.
go no, what those are some of the things. What? Because that look sound like
No,
it
I
was
was
going to be a
going to
good.
say those are some of the things that I tell, you could be a worker bee, but you're in this space where I'm just getting money and people are knocking away at these 3% increases no, we got to keep jump ship, go somewhere else and get your
I
way
always
up
say
into
that,
that
yeah,
space.
because you're just going to continuously be in that loop, and then you're frustrated because you're like,
Hmm.
because what happens is businesses need specific types of jobs to do the work, right? Every job is not going to elevate to the CEO level. Like every job can't be promoted to that level. It is unrealistic. It's not needed. So then people are frustrated with that, like the percentage, like they get frustrated with that. But it's like sometimes you got to spread your wings and fly.
See how far you can go.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And that means so back to wealth building. That means your wealth building is happening outside of your primary career. That's the thing. Is like you can have your job, but you can build wealth in other ways. And that's what I was talking about passive income.
Yeah, yeah, and similar to how we talked about networking, it's the same thing. Like you got to network away from the work from the job, but also when it comes to your wealth, you got to build knowledge. You have to have access to opportunity, risk tolerance, and those are the things. Those things aren't evenly distributed either. So keep learning.
Well, let's talk about the fragility explained clearly. So, when we say economic fragility, we're not saying people aren't successful. That's obviously we have people that are successful. We're saying success is highly dependent on continued performance.
Exactly, exactly. So if your income stops, slows, or shifts, your lifestyle and stability are immediately impacted. That's things that people don't connect the dots with.
And that, I mean, I think they connect them because I think they know, like, hey, if I don't got no job, I ain't. I mean, yeah, things gonna shift around here, and that is the definition of fragility. It's not failure; it's dependency on a system that you don't control.
Right. Right. So what changes this? Like, what are we doing to make the moves? I know we talked about we're putting it out there. We got some ideas. We know we need to come together. But what else?
I think ownerships and assets that grow without direct labor, like that is super critical. Assets that grow without you having to work for them, working your job, but having assets to grow outside of that.
I always preach diversification. I think that's it. We talked about multiple income streams, not just one high paying role. But that's the thing that happened to me. As soon as I got my first director role, I was like, this is not it. okay, Carmen, I'll say
This is not it.
this isn't it. And that's when I started Career Transformation Academy because I said I have to build something else on this because if I worry about this job and they let me go,
What do I
what else
have?
do
I
I
have
have?
nothing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, exactly. I mean, I think that's one of the reasons and one of the ways that I started my coaching business and started Poise and started Queens Behind the Scenes because I wanted to be able to have something that was mine, number one, and that I was building on my own. And you also, on top of that, you have to have financial boundaries, being intentional about what your income is responsible for.
Mhm. I agree. I agree. So that long-term thinking, not just earning and retaining and but retaining and multiplying. That is the key. And for those who are stuck behind it, because I think this is something to add to it. I think if you're stuck, it may be good to do some therapy behind that. Because some people get stuck on fear of even taking the steps to actually create more wealth and income. I have a lot of friends and people I've known in the past that they're in the 9 to 5s. They have great ideas, but they're so afraid to take that next step. There's nothing I can do because I'm like, just do it. But they have to get over that, which I think this is where therapy, this is where some of those mental roadblocks need to be removed before you even try to take those steps, because then you're just going to put yourself in a deeper hole where wrong businesses. So
I was scared so much even to start my podcast, which is terrible and sad. I was like so scared to start my business, so scared. And I'm like, what am I scared of? Like, what the
right,
hell?
right.
It's crazy.
Just get it. Just
It
get it.
is.
So stronger, elevated, more memorable. Let's go. We're closing out with just high income creates opportunity. We all know that. I think everybody strives to try to get there, but it doesn't guarantee stability. Let's just make that clear.
And, real power isn't just about what you make either. It's about what you build, what you keep, and what
Mhm.
continues even when you stop working because the goal isn't just success. It's freedom, durability, and as I always say, optionality.
Mhm.
Optionality, totally having the options to be able to say, because how many people are stuck? They'll say, I can't quit this job. I'm in this miserable
Right.
place. People are mistreating me, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, I can't quit this job because guess what?
Yeah.
If I do, I literally have nothing. So
That's stress. That's
that
health
is
problems.
that is a stress. That is a
Yeah.
stress, and many, many more Americans than not face that every freaking day.
Right.
Every day,
Right.
people are facing that, and especially Black people. I see that, and quite frankly, grew up in an environment that's that way. I mean, I as a lot of Black people do. I think we just really, really, really have to build optionality for ourselves so that we're not dependent on one source of income, one job,
Mhm.
and one because that when you allow one thing to control exactly how you live, you
Mhm.
lose your optionality and you can lose everything that you have
Right. Right.
and that you've worked hard for.
I agree. And I would want to say is that people have to understand how powerful they are. You're not just
Yeah.
put on this earth to just work for McDonald's or be a mid-shift manager, security guard. You have power. I think that's where the systemic place is because people have put and controlled your power to think that you can only do this. And you start to believe that. Like whatever the American dream was a lie in order us to be stuck in the workforce place, not to ever get the places of wealth. But if you understand who you are as a person, who and what you have the skill set to do, your impact on this world, what your purpose is, then you start to drive some success. There's going to be more jobs removed here because of AI, but there's going to be more jobs retained, and there's going to be more entrepreneurs over the next 5 to 7 years. These are people who are going to step out of that workplace, and you know what? The light bulb's going to turn on, and we're going to have more people out here driving success that way.
Yep.
Wealth is coming.
Yep, and I always say that, like, we are building we are in a different space now than we've been in the past, I think, so, I think it like you said, it is coming, so, drop it at the bottom of the hour mark, where can they find us?
Connect with us always. You can, again, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, join this community, corporate game changers. Here we are on YouTube at corporately dash speaking. You can find us on Instagram at dash corporately speaking. You can find Charise Beckett at Charise Beckett, and also myself at Career Transformation Academy, all on Instagram. LinkedIn is Career Transformation Academy and Charise Beckett. On TikTok, it is The Blueprint by CTA and Charise Beckett. Charise just made her name, ain't nothing else. Just go to Charise. So you could also get Charise's book, Poise. It is amazing. It is incredible. P.O.I.S.E. It is on her website, have-poise.com/book, or you can find it on Amazon as well. Oh, it's there. And she also has a smart goal setting workbook that is good for you queens out there. It's good for everybody, but queens especially. Go out there and get that workbook. It will help you change your life and your career. And for careertransformationacademy.com, you can go to www.ctagps.com, where you can get career coaching right now for a very, very low cost. You can try it out for 7 days free. And we have career coaching for every area and aspect of your life right now to change and get you the career that you deserve, that you've been dreaming about. And let's go. And we're building.
And the new season of Queens Behind the Scenes drops next Wednesday.
No, next Wednesday, Queens Behind the Scenes. Please go to Charise. No, what is on?
It's Queens Behind the Scenes
on YouTube. Yeah.
Yep.
Queens Behind the Scenes on YouTube. Go look at this new episode. What day are you dropping?
I'm gonna drop it on Wednesday. Is that when we drop on Wednesday? Or are we starting? Okay, I won't drop it. I'll probably drop it on Thursday then. I'll switch it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll switch it. So I'll drop Queens Behind the Scenes drops Thursday, and we're gonna be talking about. Are we chasing? What are we chasing here? I told you that the standards, the goalposts keep changing.
Yeah.
As far as beauty, and so I'd like to talk about it and get everybody's feedback on what we're doing. Are we chasing the goalposts, or are we like, this is it?
I love it. I love it. Tune in, folks, because I think that's going to be a great episode. You got 2 things going. I don't know how you do it. Charise is a busy
3
bee.
things, all the things. I don't even know. I just started for Women's Business Collaborative. I'm doing the athlete coaching. So I'm coaching an athlete for the Women's Business Collaborative. So I'm super excited about that too.
Wow. I think by the time this episode posts, I will be at Black in Tech trying to figure out what they're doing with AI down in Houston.
And also let me know, because I have tech working on that too. So let me know.
I will give you all the scoop. I heard it's the party tech group. So
I did too. I heard it was one of the places. I did heard it was like really cool. Like I saw it on Instagram as like one of the places where Black tech entrepreneurs should go, and it was like #1. So you should have a blast.
Oh, really? Okay. That'll
Yeah.
be good. I'm coming with the HR aspect as well, because I don't think people think about HR operations as much, or
Yeah, no, they don't.
AI.
Yeah, they
so
don't.
I'll be a
They
little
don't.
different. Hopefully it's there.
All right.
Good.
Well, we will see y'all next time.
Peace, everybody.